is to review items for appropriateness and setting, and it's the responsibility of the applicant to comply with the regulations of other town boards and departments, including building, conservation, engineering, health, zoning, and the sign inspector. Applicants can pick up their approved paperwork at the Old Kings Highway office once it's been recorded with the Yarmouth Town Clerk. Please allow until Wednesday afternoon for that process to be completed. Also, you should know that there is a 10 calendar day appeal period starting once a decision is filed with the town clerk. Any person aggrieved by our decision tonight can appeal to the Regional Commission of the Old Kings Highway. And our office administrator will be happy to answer any questions with regard to that process. So we thank you in advance for your cooperation, and we'll begin with the first item, which is concerned with construction of a 10 by 14 shed at 41 Randolph Road. Sandra Taylor is the owner, and Jeffrey Gerold is the agent. And they would come up here. So Jeffrey's going to stand on his own 2 feet.
It's, just for clarification, it's Richard Gerald,
Okay.
right? Or Gerald, but it's easier.
Are there any abutters to this property?
So will the cinder blocks be exposed, or?
Minimal. It's going to have just in quick summary that we're working with Pine Harbor.
Yeah.
Jamie came out and he did a site survey, and it's on a slight sloping hill, so we're cutting it out, and then it's going to have crushed stone, and the cinder blocks will be, they're like a 6 by
A flat piece of?
yeah, and they're going to sit into there, so you really won't see much at all. I'm assuming it's going to be up maybe an inch or something like that, but very minimal, and it's going to be in crushed stone
Yeah.
for drainage.
Looks fun.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oops, one thing.
You just need to sign something here with the chairman.
See, yeah, I'll sign it there.
All those things. Yeah.
It's just gonna, you're gonna build it according to plan. If there are any changes, let us know in advance. Good, thank you.
Yep. I'll give you a call when they're
Okay.
ready.
Okay. The next item is concerned with numerous changes to a building at 927 Route 6A. Westerly Holdings LLC is the owner, which is actually Kinlan Grover real estate people. And Judith Holt is the agent. They'll be doing things like replacing white shingles on the front of the building with hardy plank clapboard, reshingling other sides, putting in a new back door, a new sign next to the back door, and so on. So let's take a look.
Would you mind stating your names for the record, please?
I'm Judith Holt. I'm the agent here, and this is Annie Blatz.
I'm Annie Blatz, and I'm the branch manager of Kinlan Grover.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
And are there any abutters present?
sign. This is sign, this is sign, change. Oh, that's the profile. I think so. Back door. Oh, that's okay. So you have two signs and you're putting one up.
Currently, there's one sign in front and an empty post in front.
The empty post.
And so the current sign is being refurbished And where the empty post is located, we're adding a sign because on this parcel, there are two buildings. The one in front is an office building, and the one at back is a training center. And it's
Okay.
not clear when you get there where to go and what to do, so we're just trying to help wayfinding. It actually is two different addresses.
Right.
The building at the front is 927, and the building in the rear is 933.
Oh, okay.
You pull in and you're not sure where you are, what's what. We're trying to help with that subtly.
Just for my own interest on the subject of the trees,
Yeah.
I only saw one failing tree. There are two?
Yes, they're true. If you look at this plot plan,
I'm not sure we have governance over trees anyway. This is
Oh,
for my
okay.
own interest.
oh, yeah. There are two Norway maples there, and they're filled with lichen. The vegetation,
Provided to me tonight.
Okay,
On the trees.
okay. Well, you have authority backing you up, so I just, one looked bad, and that was the one I noticed.
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah, I saw that one.
it's really neither hay nor grass,
It's too bad.
or tree nor tree, so.
And they're actually adding new plantings here.
Right. Control the trellis. So you're gonna light up the trellis?
just, yes,
Yeah, okay.
bring a little focus to the
Okay.
building. And it will have side wings, that's the centerpiece of it.
Uh-huh.
You can see on this drawing that we have just
Right.
two side wings filling the
Something
space.
gonna grow on it eventually?
Oh, we hope so. Might use it as a display area for Christmas tree out there and
Okay.
maybe some Adirondack chairs, and
Yeah.
the building needs a facelift, we all agree.
It all looks like improvements to me.
Will the, changing the double-hung window to a picture window on the front facade, will that have the grills
Yes.
also?
Yeah. There is a window package in there, I think that,
Mhm.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Appreciate what you do here. And Beth was great. I have to give Beth.
Well, you can stay there because you're the next one, too.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, okay, okay.
We have 9:33.
That's right.
Yeah. It's the
That's the
adjacent building.
training center in the back.
I forget I have a split personality there.
Yeah.
This to this.
The next item is concerned with a new sign to be affixed to a barn door with ground-mounted uplighting and installing 2 sign panels to the existing freestanding posts with, again, ground-mounted lighting. That's at the same buildings. We put a number on this one, 933. It's again Kinlan Grover Company, and Judith is here for this too.
So this is primarily intended to remove confusion as
Yes,
to where you are and what you're looking for, and
yes, exactly.
makes sense.
The post exists there. There was a
I've seen them.
business out back, yeah.
Yep.
Any other concerns? No? Move to approve?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Now we can go. Thank you.
Judith?
Judith, we just need you to sign something up here. It's just a form stating that whatever that's going to be built or done is going to be done as approved, and if there's any changes, you need to come back and let us know. So there's a paper up here you need to sign with the chairman. Either one of you.
I think,
Yeah.
I wouldn't sign it if I were you. She's passing it off to you. It's a blank check.
Right.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Good.
twice a month.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'll be in touch.
Okay.
The next item is an item which was continued from the last meeting. And I'll read it off, and then we'll have to take it out off of table. It's concerned with a new single-family home with a attached two-car garage at 26 Midden Lane. Joyce Burris is the current owner, and Ralph and Dawn Labriola are the potential buyers, and Bob Dunphy is the agent, and Bob is here this evening. So,
Move to untable.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, Bob is welcome.
Hey, Bob. Come sit up here. Sit at this table.
Robert Dunphy, South Yarmouth. Here
It's going to
repre-
work?
South Yarmouth, yes.
Is the microphone on?
Yes. Should
Okay.
be.
Good,
It's out back that needs to be on.
good.
Did I hear that the application has been tabled this evening?
It's been untabled.
Untabled?
Yeah, we took,
Okay.
we took it off the table.
Yeah.
So we can act on it now. So,
Are you ready for that?
I'm always ready.
Good. Because we're ready too.
let's take a look at the plans.
The vinyl shingles that are part of the specs for the design, are
Mhm.
those throughout, around the entire house?
Correct.
The vinyl is just the gutters, not the siding.
That's vinyl
It's
shingles.
vinyl shingles.
Oh, I'm looking on a different one. On the spec sheet?
I'm sorry, on the spec sheet, it says red cedar.
Red cedar.
Do you have the right spec sheet? Maybe you have the wrong one.
The plans specifies,
Oh, on the
Right,
plans
plan
themselves.
says Vinyl shingles, right,
Oh, okay.
okay.
So you have to clarify what they're gonna be.
I'm pretty sure they're vinyl shingles.
So can we disregard that? We're not talking about vinyl shingles, right? We're talking about red cedar shingles.
Red cedar.
Red
Okay.
cedar? Okay,
Now, let's cross it out on the drawing.
that's good.
Yes.
Oh. Is it red cedar shingles or clapboards?
Clapboard.
Clapboards. Okay.
We need to clarify that, Bob. because
Okay,
it does-
red cedar clapboard in the front of the dwelling. And two sides in the rear would be white cedar wood shingles.
Okay.
So what color is the clapboard?
Yeah, everything says the same.
Yeah, you need to, what color the clapboard's gonna be.
The clapboards themselves will be red cedar material.
And they're just gonna be naturally weathered?
They'll be natural to the weather, yes.
It's like a little
Oh, okay.
outcropping
Oh,
Yeah, this is
roof.
wrong.
yeah. You have a little bump out indicated on the right elevation. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but I can familiarize myself.
Well, that's what it appears to
I'll give you
be.
a
I'm-
set, Bob. Yeah.
It's like a fireplace inside.
There's no chimney.
See, we've got vinyl shingles again.
Are you looking at the right elevation, sir? Bob?
I'm looking at the front elevation,
We'll look at the right side for a second, if you would.
okay?
Right elevation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This.
It's a fireplace.
Right elevation, that is the fireplace
Yeah.
facade.
Is it going to be ducted in some way?
It'll be ducted straight up and down
Straight
through.
out the back. Yeah,
Through the sidewall?
usually they have a vent right in the center of that.
No, I don't see it.
Well, it's not drawn on it.
Okay.
It's probably up like 3 feet from the bottom.
And all the windows are either 4/1, or the smaller windows are just 4
Correct.
grills, right?
Vinyl windows, grills between the glass.
So the right elevation shows on the first floor what looks like jalousies. So, okay.
Is that what
Mm-hmm.
you think out?
Yes. Those are casement windows? Is that what those are?
Those
Yeah,
are casement,
that's
yes.
what I meant to say. Okay. This is,
And no grills on the casement windows?
No grills. I'm sorry, which ones are you referring to? All of them? in
Right
general?
elevation. And actually, the rear elevation. What else? On the front, luckily.
They'll have the grills that are shown on the plan. Grills between the glass,
For the casement windows also?
yes.
Okay.
These are all Anderson windows?
Still using Anderson windows? No.
No?
Gelwind from Mid-Cape.
On the front elevation, the window to the right of the entryway looks a little forlorn.
Why don't we delete that?
Sorry?
I'd like to delete that window,
Delete that window.
yes.
Let's see how-
You can't make it to match the other side,
Yeah.
one full window? Is there a reason why, is it kitchen
Probably
there
a
or something?
bathroom.
There's a bathroom there.
It's a bathroom.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sorry, you'd like to see it be a different type window than the casement that is shown there?
Well, no, I mean, could you match you've got the three windows on the other side of the door and
Yeah,
match that one? Or
It's
is
a little unbalanced, especially if you eliminate that window altogether and you've just got a
Yes.
blank wall there.
It's
All right, so-
worse.
So why don't we bring it down and I'll abide by your wishes and go with that casement.
Well, let's decide what we wish then.
I'd rather see a full-size window that matches the other three.
I agree with
Is
that.
that plausible?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
They haven't been ordered yet, so be happy to put that in
You
their place.
can move the fixtures around in the bathroom?
Yes, we can.
Since it's a bathroom.
Okay. It's nicely balanced, but except for the garage sticking out, unfortunately. It's a dead-end street. There's nobody passing through here
No.
except for the other neighbors, so.
right.
110 feet from Route 6A.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
didn't have it, it would be right. You know,
They might like light in their bathroom. Some type of window is
think
probably
so.
better than none.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I agree.
So change it to like it's.
So you're okay with that modification, Bob?
I am.
Okay.
I just need
Yeah.
a pen.
And it's, so it's not vinyl shingles. It's just, it's red cedar clapboard in the front, unfinished, and the rest of the house is white cedar,
White cedar shingles
White
usually.
cedar shingles.
except for the little bump out, which shows the continuation of the red cedar clapboard, unfinished,
Well,
stained, or,
that should be all white cedar shingles.
that should be too as well, everything else?
Yep.
Except for the facade.
Right across the front, the garage and
Yeah, it does, it says this. Great.
So on the modifications, are we just mentioning the window, or do we have to deal with all the siding thing?
well, I wrote on the drawing,
So we don't have to
Those
include
changes.
that in...
Well, you have to, it's
not
written up as vinyl shingles and then red cedar
For everything.
for everything. So
Red cedar clapboard and then.
it,
That would
We have to change this,
clarify.
the whole rest of the house has to be white cedar.
Yeah.
All right, so I thought Beth said it was, you were clear on it, Beth, right?
On what, on,
The-
I would clarify
The siding,
it.
Yeah.
clarify,
I would,
okay.
because it's, yeah.
So we're doing red cedar clapboards on the front
Right.
Right.
and white cedar shingles.
Shingles all
You mean-
around
all
the
around.
rest.
Yeah. And if for some reason that has to change, just let Beth know,
Okay.
okay?
And then a single window to the right of the entryway to match the
Match the
windows to the
others.
left.
Right,
Okay.
A single window to match the others.
Right,
right.
Yep.
Full size.
yeah, 12/1.
4/1.
Wait a minute. 12/1?
Well, there's
4/4.
Oh, no,
Four
4/1.
Yeah.
I said 12/4.
Okay.
See, I was adding up the 3 windows.
Yeah, I know you were. That's why I was confused about, we're going to do 3 windows on that side, too.
Onion lamps. In each door. So there.
Okay. So, no vinyl siding, red cedar clapboard on the front, white cedar shingles on the sides and rear facades. Replace small 4-light window to the right of the entryway with a single 4/1 window that is the same size as the grouping of 3 to the left of the entryway.
Correct.
Okay.
And add grills.
So-
replacement windows.
Okay.
Bob, usually we don't usually look at floor plans, but you've supplied us with a floor plan here.
Okay.
Is it correct? This is an accurate floor plan?
I don't know what date that set plan is, Richard.
July 11th? It's the July 11th version.
I can work with that.
Well, the reason I comment is that the bump out on the side of the house, which, without knowing what's inside the house, we'd guess it was a fireplace.
Gas
But
fireplace.
it turns out it's a ceramic shower on the floor plan.
Right.
And the front where you commented it was a bathroom is really a walk-in closet
Yeah.
where that little window is.
This is where we just added. that
Yeah.
window.
Yeah, which is fine, no problem. But just to,
Floor plan. Well, it's, I don't think it's of our concern what the
no,
floor
no, no.
Solves the issue of where the vent is on the,
Well, there is no,
Fireplace.
Gas
well,
fireplace.
it's in the middle of the house. And it'll be run over to the, either up through the second floor
in the rear?
or to the rear. Yeah, probably go up to the second floor.
Move to
Okay.
approve.
Second, as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Does anyone else have the sign-off sheet for Bob in their package? Because it didn't appear in mine.
You didn't have it, you didn't circulate it.
That's for the next item. It would be one like that. No, this is,
Oh, that's it.
no.
Oh, I'm so
for
sorry.
Bob.
Oh. No, you don't have one there.
You can,
Right, let
you
me
can
get-
sign it Wednesday when he picks it up.
Thought I signed, I crossed it out.
That's-
Okay,
that's
all
the
right.
next
Yep, I'll
item.
have you sign it. Bob, I'll leave a note, just sign it. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Bob, could you sign this?
It's okay.
This is the modifications. It's right there. Calling you Bob, do you? I'm Bob, it's a good name.
Frontwards and backwards.
That's right.
Oh,
Palindrome.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't have it.
yep.
Thank you. Appreciate your help.
Can I have that plan back? I'll give it back to you, I promise.
All right.
Okay, the next item is concerned with the addition of a second-floor living space with balconies and a widow's walk at 36 Wharf Lane. This was tabled from the meeting last time, and they were going to do some revisions. So what I've just said, the addition of second floor with balconies, et cetera, may be changed as we go along here. We'll see. Gene Bowden is the agent. East Coast RE Investments are the owner. So, Gene,
See, we
we have our architect.
did some, G's here, and we gave you some updated plans, but I don't know what happened to the little thingamajiggy there. There we go, put it there.
We need to untable.
Yeah, we'll untable it first.
Made some changes in the front elevation.
Okay.
Move to untable.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So much better, oh my God.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Keith Mackenzie Betty, Cape Architecture.
Thank you.
Thank you. I like the colored one.
So, do you want to work with your plans someplace?
Certainly.
Good.
We had a discussion 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry. I know, I need to somehow have you talking to a mic at the same
There we go. That's good.
time. Gene, meet one of us up.
Oh.
Are you getting me now?
Okay, here we go. Why don't I hold it, and he can
We
talk?
had a discussion
Good.
2 weeks ago, and we talked about the Widow's Walk, and we didn't like that. That's gone. we wanted to reduce the scale of the dormers on the top. They've been reduced to 2 small dormers. They're not quite on the same plane. One is slightly further forward than the other. And we've kept the dormer that we did like, the little dormer down here, and we've reduced the scale of the entrance by lowering it. The farmer's porch remains, and the one thing that you haven't seen before, which is on the side elevation here, which is some French doors.
So can you explain the disparity in the dormers?
Why one comes forward more than the other?
The bay currently comes forward, the existing bay currently comes forward, so when we build up off it to make it the same proportion as the other dormer, it physically is further forward on the roof.
Yeah. So that's a constraint that's built into the house already
Yes,
at this point. Yeah.
it has this sort of big gable on the front of it at the moment, which we're going to remove.
And the French doors go out to the side yard?
Yes, they do, yeah. And that's a master bedroom, so it would be nice to sort of have those.
Well, this is an improvement. I think it could be improved a little further. It strikes me as top-heavy. There's a lot going on the second story, and visually it overwhelms the first story. Is there a way that these dormers could be compacted so they're not so prominent?
Well, one of the things you have to watch out for is there's going to be a porch, and the porch is extending forward. And so the appearance of that dormer specifically is going to be reduced quite a bit. I think the main emphasis is going to be the little gable over the door and
Well, let's talk about the one on the left then.
Well, the one on the left is symmetrically right under or over the 3 windows on the first floor.
My issue is one at scale.
And that the roof is going to be, it didn't show up that much because the drawing isn't that bold, but the roof is sticking out forward of the dormer quite a bit, which would show up in the side view.
Do you have the coloured one that I dropped off with Beth? Richard? Do you
That
have
should be
coloured drawing?
the top page is the colored one, and then we have the second page is the black and white one.
Yeah. Right. So I mean, here, Bob, this is regular roofing shingles across here and up the side. Frame this dormer, which will reduce the appearance of it.
I'm not comforted by that, Richard, I'm sorry. It's too big, plain and simple.
It's, yeah, it is top heavy.
What's your thought, Robert? What would you like to see?
Reduced.
So you're thinking 2 windows maybe instead of 3?
That's a thought.
Are the windows the same size?
They are.
Yeah.
See, they just don't look it.
Because it comes forward, I think.
Right. Well, it gets, it appears to be like a garrison-style house with that overhang on the roof. Like the second floor is larger than the first floor. But it's all roof.
You know, this house is situated, I live on Wharf Lane, so I'm very familiar with the neighborhood.
We had your input at the last meeting.
So this house is situated in amongst other more modest houses, and it would be nice if it could be sort of brought into a little bit more conformity with the neighborhood.
So there's another thing, that the treatment of the roof on the gable extends out on the drawing, extends out quite a bit
Yes, it does.
on the side walls.
We've increased the eave.
Yeah, and on the rear dormer, which is a full dormer,
Yes,
it doesn't.
that's right.
Yeah, and that's why I wondered if trimming that back would
That would help.
reduce the appearance of that dormer.
So, smaller windows in the, reduce the
That
size
would
of
help
the
also.
dormer and bring in the roof?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What size are these windows?
These,
We have that.
I think they're 42s, 42 inches.
Okay.
The height.
If in the process of compacting the dormers, and I personally think they should both be compacted, but the one on the left is more noticeable, would it be possible to bring down the dormer roof in concert with making the windows smaller so that the peak of the dormer roof does not extend as high as the principal peak of the house?
Right. We did lower the front of it so that the header is right on the window now, forming a plate for the roof. Yes, we could drop it. It'll make the roof flatter, and that was one of the things Mr. Stewart wanted us to pull away from.
Did you think about doghouse dormers instead of shed dormers?
We have two windows most. I don't know if it fit otherwise.
Doesn't give you enough room going on.
Personally not a fan of doghouse dormers.
I am a big fan of doghouse dormers and not a fan of shed dormers, but that's
You have the power, so
that's me.
we would be giving in.
So,
So we took away those two windows you didn't like, Richard.
Right, there were
in
two
the middle.
small windows.
In the centre there, yeah. And we reduced the lower windows from 4 to 3, which you asked for as well.
Well, I think we're moving in the right direction, and if you're agreeable to taking some of the suggestions that have been proposed by us, maybe what we need to do is come back a third time.
I really would like to get something this evening, if I could. So I'm happy to take the direction that you gave the previous people, where you redesigned it for them and gave an approval.
I'd have to see something. I'm sorry.
it's kind of difficult to, could you bring that over here? So
Yes, of course.
Maybe you could see it a little
see a
closer.
larger scale of it? Thanks, thank you. Just stand her up.
I think we were in May last time, I believe. And so we took the direction of the committee members who were here, and did everything we were asked to, and we've come back.
Oh, I'm here now. Sorry.
Wait.
So,
Right, well, I agree, you've done everything we asked, but you've changed the, we have different problems.
So
I
I've done
mean,
what you
no,
told
I
me,
mean,
and now there's
We didn't have
problems.
dormers before, we had this giant second floor with doors, but now we moved to dormers, so now we have to consider something different.
Right.
I
You
mean,
didn't consider that when you told me to put them on
I'm
there.
not trying to hang you up intentionally here.
I seem to be in a no-win situation.
No, I don't think so.
So either.
I don't think so. But I have to agree that the dormers just, they look out of scale.
So you like the first floor is better, you like that?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just those two dormers you want just changed a bit?
I think I'm in agreement with Bob on that.
I would go for one dormer across the whole thing and put a window back in the center. What it would do, the windows on the right part of the front stick out further than
They
the
do.
other two.
Yes.
But if you pull the left wall straight across, it would increase the size of that closet
Yes, it would.
inside, because right now it's kind of skimpy.
It is.
And that would make it much improved there. And you could put
Something above the
Yeah.
porch.
6 over 1 window there, right, centered with the door, front door.
I like the porch.
It would, from the outside, it would almost look like you have a 2-story foyer, but you don't, you have a closet.
Yes.
But appearance-wise, it would look much better. I think that would work.
You have to explain that to me. I'm not
Are you
visualizing.
talking about one dormer all the way across the front?
Yeah,
Richard?
similar to like the front, the
Well,
first
that-
one.
But that's what we had before, didn't we?
not Similar
Kind
but
of.
different.
There's less windows.
It's a dormer though.
Lower.
So just
I can
right across.
If you want. Pull this across. The roof itself would be the same, but this surface here would go straight across to here, because this part is sticking out. You can see. And then put a single window centered on the door. Okay.
So, okay. All right.
Having that right side dormer sticking forward breaks up the whole thing nicely. It doesn't look so massive. A lot of houses,
One whole dormer all the way across?
well, it's 2, but they're same roof.
There's a
The
jog.
roof is the same.
What about the scale of the
I don't know.
windows?
Okay, how do you?
He wants to make this,
One dormer
that's not going to
across.
look.
No, the roof. He's talking about the roof, John.
Oh, the roof. What are we drawing in here in the roof?
So extend the roof all the way across.
Just the roof?
Yes.
So then the dormers stay the same, and you're just changing the roof line.
Right.
And then it's,
Well, it might be helpful to not think about it as a dormer anymore, because,
It's
It's-
the
it's-
whole second floor.
right, it's the whole second floor. In other words, we're not talking about 2 different entities now, we're talking
Right.
about one
That's what I mean.
entity.
Okay, that was my question. So then we. Okay.
But I still think we have to, I still like John's idea of reducing the scale of the left dormer, compressing it with 2 windows rather than
Yes.
3.
I
Maybe the other one as
I
well.
prefer seeing a similar
So
window
the
arrangement up
whole
and down.
second floor would have a total of 5 windows, evenly spaced across.
No, I think it would look better having the 3 over, the 3 under.
I'm with
So it
you,
looks
Richard.
Similar top and bottom.
Not that I'm on the panel.
Yeah, but it's similar.
I still think you're going to come up with a problem of it looking top-heavy. Unless you do some modification along the lines of what John's suggesting, it's just going to be the
No, it's-
second
it's-
floor dominating the
Right.
ground floor.
It's not going to be, though. It's set
Don't we
back.
need to see something? I mean,
Well, I design houses.
that's fine, but
And
don't,
so
I need to see something.
I don't need to see it
All
on
right, well,
paper
here's the-
even. I
okay,
can
so-
visualize it. I just went through it, explaining, and he and I are completely in sync understanding each
Well,
other.
that's nice for you, Richard. I'm not, and I
need a
want to
piece
see
of paper,
something.
So I do it on a paper, here it is.
So,
Here, let me show you.
Is it better to see the black and white version? Does that make it not look so top-heavy?
I mean, I feel I'm being pressured into
Well, you don't have to be
coming up with a
pressured.
decision tonight when we're not seeing what we're talking about.
right, so,
It's that simple.
it isn't, it's not that simple. So, wait a second. Here's, so, two dormers, two windows in each of the, so a total of 5 windows going across. But, and we're reducing the size of the dormer by 1 window on the outside, and not so much of an overhang, so that, it could, right?
Are you, when you say 5 windows, are you including the window in the middle?
Yes.
Okay, so 2,
And there's
one
space.
flanked by 2 on each
They're
side.
not- but they're spaced in between, they're not butted up against
Right.
each other, okay?
And with that, Richard,
And removing the overhang on each end and moving the whole thing in.
Well, you can't just do that,
Why?
because there's an inside to the building as well.
That's not our problem.
Well, architecturally, again, architect is not to be agreed to doing away with a good portion of the bedroom and the closet and everything else in there.
That makes this bedroom.
Exactly what we're removing from the two ends.
It's closet space in the center.
I think the idea of trying to force alignment of top and bottom is a mistake. I
Yeah.
think the top should be
It's not
smaller.
working. It looks bigger. It is
Yeah.
bigger.
The optically, that's right, John's right.
Even though the windows look the same, they are the same size, it doesn't, it looks enormous on the second floor.
It's got a 4-bedroom.
Yeah, if you put a straight edge, they're in alignment now,
Right.
but it looks like it's
They're not.
dominating the ground floor.
The issue I've got is I'm getting new input from
We're trying to work our way through it.
We're working our way through this.
Wasn't at the previous meeting, so
Well, the previous meeting was like, that was so far off
was
the
different.
ranch that
but there
we
were
couldn't
4
even
members
consider it.
giving us input. Now there's 5 members giving us input, one of whom lives a few doors away from the property.
Yep.
So
So-
what I'm saying is we're getting new input.
Well, you have a new, this is essentially a very different building that you've presented tonight.
This is drawing up everything that you asked me to draw up. I wrote a list. I hope you can remember that I was
Okay.
pointing out the points. And I wrote them down, and I did everything you asked. And I presented it to you now, what you requested. And the lining up of the windows, in fact, was a request. And the reduction of the windows from 4 to 3 was a request. And I did all of that. And I reduced the doors that used to be up there down to
This is why
small
we asked
windows.
for drawings,
That's
because
right.
when I
Here
see
they are.
it, we didn't see a drawing of it then.
Well, again, it's a question of how much architectural savvy you have. I could,
To be on this
I don't
powerful
need a
panel.
piece of paper and, you know,
Well, we do, I do, okay? So I want to see it. I think we should see what we're talking about.
So-
Because we, you know, we've been dancing around the issues of how this is a step forward, but it's not
well,
yet right.
one of the problems is this. It's not our job to design the buildings. It's our job to review what comes into us. We are not designers. Our basic job is not designing houses.
We're an architectural review board. We're
Yeah.
reviewing the architecture that's presented to us.
Right.
This is very different from the first presentation that he brought in 2 weeks ago.
And
So
that's-
now we need to review this on its own merits,
That's right.
right? Okay, so that's what we're doing.
Right.
Like but the fellow wants to have an answer tonight about what to do, and Bob isn't comfortable in giving him an answer. So,
I'm using the previous people who were
Right.
here as the example, that you were happy to move windows for them.
I understand,
And-
but.
and you're
I-
not doing it
but
for us.
When I see it, it looks top-heavy, I agree. It's out of scale.
It doesn't to me.
Okay, well, then we should vote on it.
Well, let me start. I'm gonna move to table the application so we can see something
I'll second.
further improved.
I'll second.
Could I have an indulgence for a moment before you finalise that? This is doing nothing but putting a porch on the front.
I'm sorry?
This is doing nothing to the building apart from putting a porch on the front of it. Is that contentious?
This is a tough one.
And
So, no dormers, just a porch on the front.
so this is what you want to present now?
I want to have a discussion about it, yeah.
Okay.
Would that be acceptable to you?
If you're doing it, I think would,
I like everything about the design as you presented it, except for the second story. That's my issue. I'm happy with the porch to the right of the entryway. The fenestration on the ground level is, I think, superior to this. My entire issue is that second story.
Is
That's
it
it.
both dormers you've got a problem with?
Yes. And I like Richard's suggestion of extending, in other words, conceiving this as not two dormers, but one continuous roof that covers both and the window in the middle.
So that would be considered a bump out then, or something?
I don't know what you want to designate it as, but I guess you could call it a
Well, a
Long
jog
dormer,
in the
but-
dormer.
It's just, yeah.
So, effectively, we would be filling in the gap between the dormers.
filling in the gap between the dormers and reducing the scale of the dormers and reducing the number of windows to two on each,
And then one in the middle.
flanking the center window.
The centre window is the same scale as the other ones, or is it smaller? Because I remember I had some little four-light in there, and
Right.
we didn't
Yeah,
like those.
They were little awning type.
Yeah,
It
so
won't be the same, I think.
maybe one of these then in there.
Yeah, I think one in the
So
middle.
getting back to the grouping of windows over the fact that they're in alignment is interesting. It's almost like an optical illusion. It looks like they're wider. They're not actually physically wider.
Right.
But the fact that they look wider and they're same height, same windows, makes the whole top story look top-heavy. So
Well,
What if
there's
we
another-
drop
those,
What if we drop the outside windows so it staggers in?
well, you want to have balance. You want to have the other windows balanced over the window array below, don't you?
Well, I think you're saying reduce the scale, so I'm saying take the two outside windows on the dormers
But
and
then
bring the
move
dormers
the other
in.
two windows over closer to the outside so that they're balanced over the array below.
No, I wasn't
No.
saying that. No, I would still leave them
Question.
lined up.
Question for you.
Yes.
Right now, you're using window A,
Mm.
top and bottom,
Yes.
same. Oftentimes, people have a larger window on the first floor, a smaller one upstairs.
That's the normal proportion, absolutely.
Right.
Which gives you the illusion of them being smaller
Yes.
on top. And it's just a question, you could go from the 42 on the bottom to maybe a 48
Yeah.
and maybe trim the top ones down a little. It's a question of height of the sill for egress and fire laws and all that stuff, the building codes as to what you could do there. But very often it's shorter on the second floor than the first floor.
That is normal proportion, I agree with you.
And that just that alone is away from the massiveness, so to speak, of the second floor.
Yeah. I would be happy to increase the lower windows. Your suggestion another 6 inches, I think, is a good idea.
So the top dormer windows would remain as they are.
Yes.
42
Proposed.
high, and the bottom
But
one-
less of
Bottom
them.
ones would become 48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the roof line, would the roof line across the top remain as is, or would that go all the way across? the
I'm
solid?
happy to take the suggestion to extend across and get more
Extend
closet
across.
space.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and a
just
single
getting back to
window.
the windows for a minute, I want to be sure I understand where we're going with this. So we're increasing the height of the windows on the ground floor?
Well, yeah.
We're
dropping
not
the sill,
increasing the
really.
width?
Not increasing the height, but dropping the sill,
Yeah.
yes.
Dropping it down.
Which is very common. I've designed lots of houses with the lower windows being a lot taller than the upper windows. Very
Why
often.
wouldn't you want to make them wider in addition?
Hmm?
Why would you not want them wider in addition? Why would you not want bigger windows on
Well,
the
for one
bottom,
thing, you have
on the
to have a
ground level?
certain width for egress.
Yeah, only in the bedrooms. And
Say what?
those are on the side,
Egress.
the egress windows.
If there's a fire or something. you have to
Yeah,
jump
that's the bedroom.
So what's
right
that got to do with what I just said? I said bigger. Bigger is constricting egress?
No, if you make them smaller.
No, I didn't say
We've been-
smaller.
we've been talking about making the windows smaller and smaller.
Oh, up top you're talking. We're talking
Exactly.
Those are
I was
bedrooms
referring to
upstairs, right?
the ground
They're
level.
Yeah.
Upstairs,
The upstairs are bedrooms.
also you have to have a minimal,
No, all right, but the grouping on the first floor could be wider in addition to being taller. Why not?
Okay,
it
does it
could.
have to be 3 windows, then can it be 2?
It's
Up on the second floor
No,
now,
on the first floor.
on the first floor.
It's 2'6"
If you
at
make
the
them
moment.
bigger, they're not going to fit.
Eliminate the window in the middle and have bigger windows
Larger
with a
windows.
space in between.
Right. I'd rather see that than have the 3 windows right next to each other. And so what are we talking about on the second floor now? We're talking about 7 windows or 5 windows?
I think we were focusing on 5.
5. We're going to
Of that
eliminate the 2
size.
outsides and reduce the amount of the overhang on the end of the gable.
2 per dormer and 1 in the
Right,
middle. Yeah.
and but not butted up against each other with a space in between.
I'm
That's
happy.
more of a.
I'm happy to put a space there, yeah.
You see, yeah.
So the dormers remain the proposed width? It's-
Do you know,
it's just
I was happy to
putting
reduce them
Yeah.
Yeah.
previously, if you want.
So you've,
By a width of a window, 2'6".
I know, see, this is,
Yeah, that's well.
so we're talking about, let's, just so we make sure we understand one another. So we're still talking about 2 dormers on the top, even though the roof line goes all the way across and the windows in the middle. So we got 2 on each, referring to this plan, dormers, 2 windows on each dormer. We've got 2 windows on the ground floor, where there are now 3 to the
Right.
left of the
But they're
entryway.
going to be larger.
They're going to be larger. So what's the vertical relationship of the new, on this new plan, what's the vertical relationship of the windows on the second floor with the windows on the first floor? In other words,
It would be difficult to get one, because they're
Right.
different sizes to get them to
Right.
line up.
yeah.
are they going to be dramatically off-center vertically?
I'm liking Richard's idea of dropping the sill on the windows by 6 inches and eliminating the outside window on the dormer, reducing the size of the dormer but filling in the gap in between.
Right. My issue is
Can still line them up then.
the vertical alignment of the,
You don't like that?
well, I'd like them to be balanced vertically.
Yeah,
So you're
That's what he's
thinking
saying.
balance around a center line rather than
Right.
lining up with each other?
Right, no, when you said just eliminate the outside window, I thought, well, then everything has to be shifted to the
Well, I was
outside.
staggering the whole thing in. That's what I was trying to do.
Right,
Right.
okay, good. Well, we're, I think, getting somewhere.
And lowering this to 48.
Right.
is the-
Yes.
The front.
Okay, so we're forgetting about the outside alignment of this array, top and bottom?
Yes.
Good, okay. And now the window in the middle, we didn't address the issue of
It
the
should be straight,
size.
it should be straight over the,
No, it's the size of it.
Of
you
which?
best to keep
The
it
window in the middle
Center?
over the,
Well, they should all match on the tops, on the second.
they all match. Okay, it's not bigger, which I thought,
No,
that
keep
was
it-
a
keep it
thought.
Same,
okay,
don't confuse it.
no? Okay, well,
So,
Show you what I'm thinking.
yeah,
so the top of the,
This is a horror. See him come back in.
yeah. So, these two windows line up with these two windows? Wait a minute, this is gonna be two windows down here, right?
Three. Three.
Why are you so fixated on this alignment here? Why is that?
Right.
I don't see that. I'm sorry. Thank you for insulting me, but I don't see that. I think it looks unbalanced.
we can't hear you down this end. Sorry.
Yeah.
We were talking about why we want things to line up, but you're thinking you just want to...
Well, the outside lines up, but the inside no longer does.
We don't do it.
So-
This counter.
I thought, yeah.
I think he should have just left the house the way it
The
was.
wrong-
Do you want to see this?
Yeah, could I? Let's see.
Okay.
Did you give them another little version just now?
Tie in with.
I didn't see. Is it have no dormer at the top? Or what is it? No,
It's also, by turning this down, these two
Okay, and
windows,
moves it.
these two,
and then join. Well, that might look better.
6 over.
What about this? This is nice. I like this. They don't mind this, do they?
This dormer wall goes straight across.
Straight across.
Okay, so, wait a second.
And now,
No, wait a second. So, no. So this wall is going
Roof
straight
line.
across
Yeah,
here.
so forget
The
that
dormer roof
shadow.
line would,
Right, that doesn't exist. This
Over
is,
the two windows.
this is the roof line.
Yep.
This is going away
Yep.
here and here,
Yep.
right? And, like, yeah, that's okay.
Yep.
And now, these windows don't have to be next to each other, do they? They can,
Well,
this
you
dormer
best-
is coming
it's-
all the way over here, so
No,
Why can't-
No, you have to adjust what's going on inside the house.
this is, which is,
No, leave these windows alone, because the inside of the house you have to worry about too. And you guys aren't doing that, so,
we don't have to worry about that.
no, we don't.
It's not our concern. I know what you're saying, Richard. You want to give a guy a break here on realigning the interior, but that's not it's not our concern. But we're talking about
The
two
appearance-
windows down here that are larger.
the appearance is architecturally proper, having them like this, the way you,
Lined
Drawing them.
next to each other?
yes.
I don't agree.
I don't either.
I think it would look too odd if they were spaced. I think because these are
Right.
grouped and these are grouped.
Exactly.
And these are two groupings, and
Right.
they're coming in, it looks,
It's going to reduce the scale, which is what we checked.
Yep.
so it's kind of tiered.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Poor Carlos.
Okay,
Well, okay.
I think if you would come back in 2 weeks, going on this basis and just draw it up and put some shading in as necessary, emphasis here and there. And so they'll also be able to understand it better. I think.
Well, I want to see what's being proposed. I don't think that's an unreasonable request.
You'll come back with it.
Good. That was my suggestion, and I.
Look at
So
it.
can I
We'll give you
reintroduce my motion?
I guess we have to give you
Table the
some.
application.
Yeah, they-
You can put forth your motion to table the application.
Okay, and I think John
I
seconded.
had seconded it already.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
September 9th. That's a big meeting, we have 11 applications that night, so you're going to end up being the 12th application.
Yeah, so you can,
It's just, the first one was so far off, that, you know.
I can look up the deal, let me know the date exactly.
I'll give you these back.
Back.
Do you want those?
Oh.
Do you want all of those?
See you in the office.
Excuse me? Yeah, take those.
We'll give you the ones that.
No, one's that, yeah. Give back the ones that
You
were.
have one.
Right, and then we'll bring in the ones that.
Yeah, you'll bring in the new ones, and we'll have, that will be the third revision.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay,
Wait a
all
minute,
right.
do you want the,
Do you want all of these, or just the two that you handed out tonight?
The last two.
The plain one, the do-nothing one, yeah.
do nothing?
Yeah,
It's
revised.
an
Yeah.
official public record. Yeah, okay.
Okay, now, we have workshop coming up. Jim Wilson will come for Monday, the September 23rd. And we'll do it before the meeting. We allocated an hour from 6 to 7. And
I'll do a workshop agenda and send that out to everybody.
Okay.
Then I have some minutes.
Okay. No meetings to address
I have minutes.
to the meeting?
Mhm. July 8th and July 22nd. I sent them out and I got feedback,
Okay.
and I updated them, and I sent them out again.
Move to approve the minutes of July 8 and 22nd.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Now that's it.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.